All right, going into our next opening hand, we opened up with this. Naturally, the OT is going away, so is the critical. They don't serve a purpose. The angel, I'm going to put it back in decks just so I have another copy, and then I'll hold on to the PG for a normal unit target. And we will draw our next hand, which is pretty bad. This starting hand, it's not the worst, only because you can put the Antares back. We just can't do anything with it right now. But it is a target for future skills. So we'll see how it goes from there. And we'll get started. So we draw. And we got the OT back. Okay, so there's no OT for us this game. I'm going to actually discard the copy of Antares from my hand and then ride into my Solrarion. The opponent will attack us. We lose out on the front. We're really losing our triggers here. Dependable Pierce, it's a staple that we need for opening hands, so we're going to get rid of this and then ride into Solrarion. Solrarion will check the top card. I guess it is a normal unit, so in this case, I normally would leave it on top, but I think that I have two cards in my hand that give me soul. I think we can give this up now. I think we can actually leave this on top because we have cards that will soul charge us. We'll swing in with Solrarion. The opponent will drop a card to stop us, which is good. And we'll get this to hand. So we have a defensive. We'll take our turn. Angel. Yep, we'll then stand and draw. We're drawing nothing but all triggers here, which is not the best for us. But I'm going to go ahead and drop another critical trigger, only because they saw it. I don't want them to know that I have this in my hand yet. So then we'll ride into our Solrarion. Now, because of the way that my hand looks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and call Solrarion and Solrarion here. And then I will use the ability of Solrarion. The card that's going to go on the top of my deck after I draw a Cadwaya, is without a doubt going to be my Drilling Angel. Solrarion will move back. I'm going to call out to my rear guard my Dependable Pierce Dragon, and this time I will draw my Angel and put on the top of my deck my Cadwaya. And then I'll just save Angel for future plays. Solrarion will use his skill. We'll Soul Blast Strawn. We'll give 5k to everything. And then we will go ahead and enter our battle phase. He gets 5k because he just saw this ability be activated. So I'm going to have him attack first. He'll move himself into Soul. Solrarion is next. We'll Counterblast 1, the normal unit. We'll check top 2. I'm going to call out Cadwaya. And then I'm going to put this on top. Twin Drive will begin. So first check, front trigger, 10k to the front row. Second check, critical trigger, critical here. This is a strong column by itself, so he's going to need the power to be relevant. So we'll give 10k to our Solrarion. Well then, to hit the criteria, remember, Cadwaya requires to see 4 more units. So you have to swing like this first. Cadwaya, use the skill, Soul Blast. That's if you want to use the ability, which we do. And then we don't have Persona Ride in our hand, nor do we have a card that's going to get us started in. So I'm actually going to take this because I feel like the Persona Riding is more important. And we'll take that to our hand. This will retire. We shuffle. Done. Solrarion will go next. He'll attack. He'll retire. We countercharge. And we pass it over to them. So not a bad play whatsoever at all. We are out 1, 2, 3, 2. We are out 3 crits, 2 fronts, 2 heals, and an OT. So we have a lot of defensive cards, and I think that this is the route that we should take because we don't need a lot of damage for our deck anyway. So our opponent, they'll do their thing. We'll take this. We'll take this, which is not good, and then obviously we'll stop them where we can. Let's drop those 3. If you want to take it to the next level, we can even guard with that. Alright, we'll start our turn. We stand and draw. We got a Dependable Pierce Dragon, Cool Beans, Ride Solrarion, 10k, draw a card. We got the Gradius Grottle. Not bad at all. So we actually can make a comeback here. There are a few options. We've only seen 1 copy of our Cadwaya and 1 copy of this out of the deck so far. So a few things you can do. You can move Solrarion to the front, call Pierce, put this on top, and draw a card, which is the heal trigger. Unfortunate, but we are beginning to get on the shorter end of the deck. That is an option to put this on top And then obviously you'll swing with Solrarion, and then you can call over that and start doing multi-attacks. Or swing with this, put it here, call over, do multi-attacks, call a booster, another attacker. That is one option. However, the option that I'm going to take, and again, this is why sometimes you just have to be risky with this deck, is what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start pushing my opponent for the win because I am in a bad spot. So I will actually go ahead and call these out. I will call these out here. And the reason being is because we need to win. We are in a position, unfortunately, where we don't have a strong hand and we have to make the plays needed to push as hard as we possibly can. So that's what I'm going to do. If you want to take it a step further, you can even call this here and then leave this up front so that your Vanguard has a booster. That is an option. If not, you can just play it like this. You have Solrarion's effect because you know what the top card is, so everything gets plus 5k because we're being pushed really hard. And then at this point, we just play greedy. Yeah, this is a greedy turn. This is something I recommend you don't do, but if you want to play greedy, this is how you do it. So you're going to swing with Solrarion first. That's 13 plus 10, so that's 23 to Vanguard. You'll swing with this. This is 33 because it's 10k and 5k from its own skill. He's actually going to move into Soul. You swing with Solrarion. You'll use Solrarion's skill. We'll counterblast the Soda Sakab. We'll check top 2. We know it's a Soda Sakab. Now the question we have to ask ourselves is, do we have one in drop zone? Well, unfortunately we do not. So the greedy play here is, I'm going to call this card over here and then have this retire. Put this on the bottom. And then I'm just going to pick a card that I have the most likely of seeing. So I know that an Angel is not going to happen. We don't have... Solrarion's not in drop, so if you want to pick Solrarion as a target. We have one more Solrarion in deck if we want to do that. We have 3 copies of Cadwaya, which is an option, and then we have 3 copies of this. Now, because I'm trying to push for the win because I am playing very desperately, I'm going to put this card into the Soul, and then we'll check top 3. I put the other card to the bottom so that increases my chances of seeing it more. So first, second, and third, I lucked out and I got it, so I'll go ahead and call this card here, and then place these in the deck after I shuffle. His effect will kick in and you get plus additional 10,000. Whew, so I know that was a lot of talking and acting, but in desperate situations like this, because we just did not have the best opening hand, sometimes it's how you have to play Solrarion. I very rarely have ever had to do something like this, but it was just a last minute attempt to push. We didn't get any triggers, which is unfortunate, but we drew a lot of them in the early game, so I'm not surprised. And then we will obviously push our opponent with what we can. Now, naturally, if you want to play safer, you don't have to call these out. You can hold on to these and try to set up for next turn by like soul charging in Cadwaya or something. But I just felt like with what we had to push as best as we could. Because there's a certain point when in Vanguard, surviving is just not optimal. It's better to just drop everything and then push as hard as you possibly can. Alright, on to our next test hand. We have shuffled our deck again. We've got our Soda Sakab, Solrarion, Pierce, and a heal. So we have a lot of grade 3s in hand. So in this case, I'm just going to hold on to the Soda and the Solrarion. Everything else can go to the bottom because I won't need them until later. Alright, this opening hand isn't bad. 1 defensive, not horrible. Alright, draw for turn. Pierce, Pierce is going to be good later, so what I will do, I'll drop it now, only because I have an idea for it later. Right into Solrarion, we'll take our damage, we lose out on Solrarion, that's okay, we'll draw for turn. We have a Soda Sakab in hand. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do here is, depending on what we're playing against, I'm going to go ahead and drop this 1 copy of Soda Sakab and play Stogron. Then Solrarion's skill. I'm going to guess normal unit. It's Cadwaya. We'll call it now and do that. And then we will go ahead and drop our Soda Sakab. And we will drop our Drilling Angel. So this is a push turn. Yes, I am trying to push right now. I'm going to use the skill of Soda first to counterblast 1, draw a card. We got on Terrace. We'll use the skill of my Angel to move this into the Soul. And then check the top 3. There's no Soda Sacops here, so then we just shuffle. And then if you want to take it a step further and rush even harder, you can call out Kadwaya. And then go ahead and just start attacking. So I'll have my Kadwaya attack first. Kadwaya's skill will kick in. We'll Soul Blast the Soda Sacab. Retire him. Check top 3. We only have Kadwaya to add to hand. Shuffle the rest of these into deck. Stogron is next. Drive check. Kadwaya again. Then we'll have Soda Sacab attack with a boost from Drilling Angel. So that was a very aggressive start, but that is just one option we could have done. I like to play the deck a little greedy-ish. I feel like that's the best way to approach Solrarion right now because of just how strong and fast other decks are. The opponent will take their turn, we'll take a point. Stand and draw. We got Pierce, so we have a pretty good opening hand. I'm actually going to drop the... Let's see here. Because my target... Okay, so I get 2 here. This is going to go away. I'll have 1 card in Soul. So this is gonna go on top of the deck this turn. Okay, we can do that because I already have this, so that's fine. So then what I'm gonna do for this turn is I am going to drop 1 copy of the Kadwaya because I want to hold on to the defensive because my opponent's gonna have their next turn, and I'm gonna ride into the Solrarion. Stogron and Illyrion will kick in. I'm going to call this time to rear guard. My Illyrion here and then my Stogron here. Yeah, I'll call it like that. And then, yeah, I'll call it here. Because I have 1 Soda Sacab back there. And then if I call that there, it'll be a booster for next turn. Yep. So we'll call it like this. Lyrion's skill, we will put this on the top of the deck and we'll draw a card. It's an angel for next turn, not bad whatsoever. And we'll go ahead and start attacking. So we will then use our Stogron to attack our opponent. That is one option you can do. If you want to play a little bit differently, you can do it like this. You can swing with Drilling Angel first. And then you can swing with Solrarion next. No, I was right. I was right. Okay. That's the whole purpose of these test hand guys, to figure it out, you know? Just get better any way you can. Swing with Solrarion. So 5k to everything, because you know the top card of the deck is a normal unit. Stogron goes away. Countercharge 1. Solrarion's next. Skill, counterblast 1. Check top 2. We will put this on the top of the deck. This does us no good right now. Put this on the bottom. Give 10k here because it was called out from deck, and it gets 5k from this ability, so it's still a matching number. And then perform our trigger check. So we have check 1, then we have check 2, which is a front trigger, so that's additional 10k to the entire front row. Not bad whatsoever, not bad at all. Alright, and then we will go ahead and have our Interris attack next. This is 18, 23, 33. And we will have this be boosted by Sacab and then attack with Angel. This is 25 plus 13. This is 38. So another really solid number card. And this was actually not a bad bonus to the formation at all. Now, one thing you could have done was, naturally, you could have called the Sacab here and gotten the counterblast and extra card draw later and use it for that turn. I think that was the better play. I was just playing greedy by doing this like that. Because I had the Kadwaya here last turn, so I realized that's where I misplayed. I missed out on getting 1 extra card of advantage here. That's where I messed up at. Yeah, don't be like me. That was a run route I should have gone. Alright you guys, this will be my final test hand with Great Sage of Heavenly Law Solrarion. So hopefully we go out with a banger. Our deck is shuffled and ready to go, and let's see what we get. Alright, so we have another huge grade 3 opening hand. So this time we are going to get rid of the heal trigger. the Gradius Grottle as well. I'm going to get rid of the dependable Pierce Dragon, and I'm going to hold on to the Solrarion just for extended combo plays, but the rest of everything else can go. There are better cards we can open up with, like a Cadwaya, a Soda Sakob, or something else. So unfortunately, we did not get any of the cards I just stated as I was talking about them. We opened up with a front and a crit, which means we have 2 fronts left in deck, and then we have 7 crits left as well. So we're not in a horrible spot. Naturally, it's the early game. We can just get things started. Let's see what we get. We draw for turn. We get another crit, so I'm actually this time going to hold on to a couple of my other pieces because I do want to attack, and I don't leave myself with no normal units. Let's see here. I will discard 1 copy of Solrarion from my hand and then ride into her. And then the opponent will take their turn. Damage check. It's a Soda Sakob. Draw for turn. Aegis Mare Dragon. Not the worst. I'm going to discard a critical trigger from here and then ride into the Stogron. I value the shield value of the front in the later game, and then I already have another crit in hand, so it's better to get rid of it. Solrarion's skill. Look at the top card. I guessed it as a normal unit because that's what I predominantly guessed because I want to add a card in my hand. This is heal trigger. Yeah, my hand is not the strongest right now. I don't have many targets for effects, and my dependable Pierce Dragon already goes into Soul later. So even putting this into Soul doesn't help me. I think in this case, I'm going to leave it on top so that come next turn, I can take a little bit of a beating and put the Sakob on the drop. So Sogron will attack. Heal trigger will go off. I go back to 0, and now I have this in drop zone in case I draw into a Drilling Angel. Alright, the opponent will take their turn. They'll attack me. I lost out on the Angel as I was speaking about it, and then it becomes my turn. So I'll stand and draw. Okay, I have a good normal unit target for my skill. I'll drop the heal trigger that they saw last turn via my skill and ride into Solrarion. The first turn with Solrarion is not horrible, only because we can make a column with Stogron and Solrarion has an ability to help us filter out our hand. The card I'm going to put on top here is a copy of the Intricacies so that I can draw a card from the deck. It's another trigger unit. So we'll put that on top right there. Actually, the better play here is to, before I put that, I'm going to put this on top just so I get the card draw. But then my opponent will know I have a perfect card in hand. No. The better play here is to put the Solrarion so they know I have about the Persona Ride for next turn. And then I get the card draw. Then I'll call the dependable Pierce. I draw a card, which is the Solrarion, which they know about, which is perfectly fine, I don't care, and put this on top. That feels way better. Okay, and then Solrarion will then kick in with its effect to Soul Blast 1. The top card of my deck is a normal unit. Give everything on the board 5k, and give this guy 5k because he saw Solrarion use its skill. Enter the battle phase. This is going to be 23 to Vanguard. He'll move himself into Soul. Then I'm going to have Solrarion attack. We'll counterblast 1. Check top 2. Put Intricacies on top. I already have Solrarion in hand, so there's no reason to get another one. Intricacies will come out to the field. He'll get 10k because of his own skill. Then we'll go ahead and go into battle phase. So we'll first check, heal trigger. Assuming our opponent did not stop the last wave of attacks, this does nothing, but we'll give the 10k power to this guy right here again. And then the second check, critical trigger, not bad whatsoever. We'll give the critical here and then the power to Stogron so it hits a magic number as well. And then finally, the regular cards will attack. Intricacies, Stogron is next. And thanks to that, the skill of my Stogron will go off. He'll retire, and I'll countercharge 1 for this turn. So this wasn't like the worst opening. We still got 4 attacks, still really high-powered attacks. We just drew into a lot of triggers that unfortunately lost out on. We lost out on 2 heals and 4 crits and 1 front. That's not horrible. I probably would play very defensively in the early game. For all of my skills, I don't need more than like 2-3 damage. So the opponent will take their turn, will block here, maybe take the Vanguard, that's 1, and then we will go into our next turn. We'll stand and draw. We got Pierce, not bad. Persona Ride, Draw again. We got another normal unit, not bad. I figured this would happen as the deck begins to less and less stuff comes in. So here's what we're going to do. For our first opening play, we are going to start building up our board. That's what we need to do. I'm going to call Solrarion first, use her skill. We'll put Pierce on top. No, I want to do it the other way. Yeah. We'll put Aegis Mirror on top, draw a card, which is Soda Sakab, which is perfect actually. Leave that there. We'll move this to the front. We'll call Soda Sakab. And then I can't use Pierce's ability because I don't have the card in hand. So actually, was that the better play? Or do I actually call out this first, use the skill, put this on top, draw a card. This way we know we at least have it. If that is the case, maybe call this here so that it's a strong booster for the Vanguard. And then if we want to be greedy, we can call this here so that our Vanguard hits for a magic number to confirm damage because we don't know what we're going to get. He saw him play, so he'll get 5k. Solrarion's skill will kick in. We'll Soul Blast 1. We'll give everything 5k. We Persona Road this turn, so everything gets 10k. And then we can start attacking. I'm going to go... $13, 23 first. Solrarion boosted by Gurgant will be 33. Counterblast 1. I'm going to counterblast this specifically. Check top 2. We got Cadwaya, that's even better. Call this here, and then we'll put this on the bottom. Begin Twin Drive. Heal trigger 10k here. Second check. Soda Sakab. Okay. The next wave of attacks is going to be the Cadwaya next. We'll then Soul Blast the Solrarion to check top 3. Now we're looking for whatever we can get our hands on, which is the Angel. We'll shuffle. This will go away. Then we'll use the Solrarion to boost Pierce. Move him into Soul. And then we have our front row cleared out. If we're playing against Gondiva, we're not going to call this out because we don't want to have more targets to retire. And we will just leave it like that. If we wanted to play really conservatively, we could have probably just called the 1. And that would have kept us another body off board if we're playing against Gondiva. That's something we could have done. That's an option. But yeah, guys, that was my final test hand for Solrarion. I'll have the deck profile coming out soon. As you can see, I'm still working out the strategy and thoughts and ideas behind this deck. It's a really fun deck though, however. The deck is really strong. The 5k bonus to everything is really solid. You get Persona Ride very easily in this deck. It's not hard to come by. Resource wise, you just have to pay very close attention to it for when you're playing against your opponent. But right now it's looking like this deck has a really strong late game at the first grade 3 turn. The early game is pretty solid because of the Angel and the Cadwaya to filter out for pieces. A lot of your cards come out onto the board and they make really big numbers, and because they're all in place and you can get rid of them, I've experienced already that it's not hard to go up against Gondiva, because as you saw, we can manipulate and control what pieces we put on the board, so we're not getting slammed super hard by that. Those are all abilities that I've experienced that are really interesting with this deck. I do feel like there is a lot more testing I need to get done before I finally showcase my list. But this is my test hand with Solrarion. Y'all tell me what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll see you later. Peace.